Welcome to the Missouri Liberty Alliance. Today is Thursday, September 16th, 2021. After Action Report, gang. Sorry, for those of you who follow on YouTube, I could not get out any YouTube videos for the last 2 days, and it was a grueling 2 days up in Jefferson City. And the reason being is we don't have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is what you need to transmit YouTube through a mobile device. So I kept it on Facebook. I know there's smarter people out there than me saying, hey, listen, there are other tools you can use, to get out in YouTube, through your phone. And I know there are. I don't know what they are. I didn't have time to learn. My time is usually very, very short. So, but at any rate, so those who were watching on Facebook, they got a blow-by-blow of what was basically going on for the last 2 days. Both through videos and a couple of posts. So, first off, I want to say thank you to Casey Rich and Joe Mama, and of course my wife, all who came up to Jefferson City. And there were others too, but not necessarily part of our group. And in fact, I'll mention that in a little bit. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail on what we dealt with in the last 2 days, and there's a reason why. We're going to try and do a live stream tomorrow night at 7:30, but I haven't confirmed that with Joe Mama and Casey Rich on the time yet. Because I think it'd be better if we had a bigger conversation with the people that were involved, so it's not all my perspective and my point of view of what it was like to go up to Jefferson City. And I'm not talking about the experience of walking in Jefferson City. I'm talking about the conversations we had with politicians on both sides of the aisle, which was really fascinating. The effort has failed, guys, and we tried our best, and I want to say thank you to all of you that made phone calls, but I'm starting to see the forces that are raging against us on this. And I think the guys that went up there with me, and my wife too, we're all seeing that a lot more clearly now. It's deep divisions that have been forced, by the mainstream media and by the current administration. Even the past administration had a little bit to do with it. But the divisions are too deep. We can't come together and have a consensus on whether or not, the Constitution is being damaged, by mandates coming out of D.C. So I'm going to be careful on my language. Just let you guys know, Facebook was the way I communicated. So those of you who are on Facebook actually saw all this going on. Those of you who are not on Facebook, you had no idea what was going on, and I apologize about that. But the main three ways that we actually do this is YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are the main three ones that are in use right now. And so there's a lot of activity, by the way, on our Facebook group. So all the links are right down below to get to all of our socials, but those are the three ones we're using. Plus, of course, the email blasts in our website, which is currently being worked on, MissouriLibertyAlliance.com. So I'm going to go into a couple of things, but, once again, this is our Facebook group, and there's always stuff going on in here, always. So I know some of you don't want to be on Facebook, and I get it. I understand. So those of you who are not on Facebook and are not on Twitter, YouTube, once again, we're back. So you will get updates and more information. But also Twitter. And I haven't been on Twitter much lately, although I do have access to that one on my phone. So I'm on, I can see Twitter a little bit more than I can, for instance, many of the others. Facebook I just put on my phone so I could get communication out while we were up in Jeff City. But I want to give a special shout out to someone, and that's Jamie Pearson. This is a gal that I met up in Jeff City that knew about what we were doing with SEPA. And so she was very happy to meet us. I was very happy to meet her too. And she was up there fighting the good fight too. She was up there for the rally on Wednesday morning, yesterday morning, and hung out and was talking to senators and representatives and legislative assistants and office assistants and stuff like that, also trying to get a special session going. So just a special shout out to everyone who actually took the time, literally drove all the way up to Jefferson City, took the day off from work, spent the gas money, and actually made the effort. We failed, but like I said, there's some good things that came out of that too, and a lot of that is literally just understanding the deep divides up there on this issue and the reasons for it, and we'll get into that tomorrow night in the live stream. So Jamie, we love you, and thank you very much for the fight. Thank you for continuing the fight. I also want to give a shout out to John Lavanchi, who is the legislative assistant for Shane Rodent in the 111th District. We spent quite a bit of time in his office, and it was a real pleasure talking to you, sir. We met with a lot of folks up there, and I'm at and I've got a list of a bunch of the people that we did talk to. And what was really important is not so much that, that we talked to them, it was the information that we got, basically just by literally sitting down and listening and doing a little bit of talking ourselves. I'm a talker, as you guys know, but listening on the other side, and that would be the Democrat side. So we'll talk about that, and I don't want to make this a right versus left issue, because I'm not 100% sure it's a right versus left issue anymore. Like I said, things are a lot clearer to me now that I've spent the time up in Jeff City. And Governor Parsons is not going to call a special session, even though he's gotten, I think, many thousands of phone calls to do so. He's not going to do it. So Parsons has failed us in that regard. Special session could have done a lot of things for us here in Missouri. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but the likelihood of it happening now is very low. So, and we'll explain to you the processes they were going through in both the House and the Senate to try and get that done. Private conversations, or more specifically, direct conversations with individual representatives and senators, and in many cases office assistants and legislative assistants, was very, very fascinating. So we'll get into that tomorrow night, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that there's lots of ideas on how to go forward, and we'll explore those tomorrow night. A lot of them involve working directly with businesses. Another one is working with sheriffs. And Alex with the Free American Press, also California Freedom Alliance, has some ideas as well. And I think that, there's good ideas out there on how we can go forward, trying to acknowledge that we do have rights as American citizens, and those rights are being trampled upon now in order to deal with a perceived security issue, safety issue, health issue, whatever you want to call it. And how do we maintain our rights when there are those who think we should lose our rights, in sight of, a civilization-ending, virus? So, and once again, it's a perception. But at the same time, it's a held perception by several people. We don't need to name call. We don't need to put people in boxes. People are people. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, you have an opinion on this. And the thing is how much of our opinion is based in fact. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's where we're fighting even our own governor. Our own governor, in Missouri, literally says he is for freedom of choice. Make your decision, yourself, involve your doctor. But when he makes that speech, he forgets to tell everyone that he's offering people to throw their name in the hat for a $10,000 drawing if they get the vaccine. That's a very interesting take from someone who is all about freedom of choice. It's very clear to me what choice he's hoping people make. So, but, okay, let me wrap up now here, because there's no reason to continue the video at this point, because I want the larger discussion with those who went up to Jeff City in the live stream, so you guys can comment and ask questions about the experience. But there is no consensus, and there will be no special session, at least now, at this time. There may be one later after OSHA's regulations come out officially, because right now all we got is the president, saying what he wants to do. And so at any rate, we will explore those options and talk about much, much more about our experiences up in Jeff City. And believe me, you guys don't want to miss this. It was very fascinating. We got bamboozled by some people, and we got some truth from others. And at least truth as far as their opinion, their point of view goes. And it's a fascinating story. So please tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 for the live stream, right here on this YouTube channel. And remember now, when we do these live streams, we're going to have to be careful about the language we use, because it's about a subject that's heavily censored, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So we will be careful about that. So remember now, we'll be using our very special adjectives, and we're going to have to get out the thesaurus and come up with different terms and everything, but we will get the information across the best we can. Okay, gang, that's all for now. Thank you very much to everyone who made phone calls, who visited Jeff City. We fought the good fight, and we lost this one, but not for the reasons you may think. We'll discuss it tomorrow night. Until then, you guys take care. May God bless you all. See you, gang.